So hi guys, today I have a very interesting guest. His name is Victor Quiroz. Other than being a very good friend of mine and a business partner and a couple of real estate transactions, investments, he owns 6 McDonald's. So today he's going to take us inside of what is it to own, a McDonald's store, and how you can actually be able to get one and achieve one if you're interested in doing so. So Victor, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jorge.
I want to do a proper introduction of you. So you are from Chula Vista, right? Chula Vista, California.
I was born in Chula Vista, yes.
Okay, nice. And what about your wife?
Yeah, so my wife was born in Glendale, California. We're both first generation here in the United States. Our parents are both from Mexico.
Oh.
Her family's from the state of Guanajuato, and mine is from Jalisco. And
do you visit a lot?
Yes, we try to go as much as possible. We still have relatives over there, and we love the tradition and the culture. But reminds me, my daughter, who's studying at Santa Clara University, she did a report on my wife and I's grandfather. Both of them, turns out, worked as in the Bracero program here in the United States. And even though their family were in Mexico, they came and worked in the United States and helped make money to bring back to their towns when things were really hard and difficult for them. So that's something that we appreciate, and we like to maintain that rich history with hardworking men in the family and the work ethic that they've created for our family in the future that they brought for us.
Oh, very interesting, Victor. I didn't know that. And we've known each other from, more than a couple of years now.
Yes.
But I didn't know that, so thank you for bringing it up. Now, I know you went to USC.
That's correct.
Okay. And you majored in what?
In finance, business administration, finance, specifically real estate finance.
There we go. Okay, cool. So thank you for being here again. And I'm going to start with the first question. I'm going to go down to the point. How did you start it with McDonald's? Like, how did you acquire the first McDonald's? What was the idea? How did it all start?
Well, it is a long and short story. Mm-hmm. My first important interaction with McDonald's was that when I was in kindergarten. Our kindergarten class had a tour to a McDonald's restaurant. They took us behind the counter. We got to see everything that happened in the operation. And at the end of the day, they sat us down, gave us a little hamburger. And it was a memory that stuck with me, all my life. And then while in high school, that was my first job working at a McDonald's in Long Beach. And it was a great experience, made good friends, and it was a fast-moving environment that I really enjoyed. It was not boring. It was always kept you very busy. And then at the college level, one of our guest speakers in the business school was a franchise owner for McDonald's. He told us about his experience about being an owner-operator, and that, clicked another, thing in my mind as to, that I thought was interesting, that was something I really would like to pursue. So fast forward, I'm graduated, I've already worked in a couple of jobs. I found my wife, Gabby. We were talking about our future. We were engaged to get married, and we both wanted to have our own business. We didn't know what that was going to be, what it was going to look like, but we knew we wanted our own business. So we started doing some research. And at the time, we're talking about 1995, 1996, McDonald's kept popping up as the number one franchise to have at the moment. So we're like, okay, let's apply to McDonald's. We'll get married, come back from our honeymoon, and submit our application. And that's exactly what we did. Within a couple months, we got a call, and it said they want to sit down and interview us. So both my wife and I went in to be interviewed. Now my wife, she's an engineer, mechanical engineer from Cal State Northridge. And I think they really liked her more than they liked me. I don't know why, but they really liked her. But they said, you know what? Come back to us when you have more money. So we went
Now, let
away.
me interrupt you.
Yes.
Were you working for someone at that time?
Yes, we've always worked.
Okay.
Both of us always had jobs.
So what were you working at that time?
So at that time, both Gabby and I were working for Mobil Oil.
Okay.
She was an engineer. I was an accountant.
Okay.
We worked at the Torrance refinery.
Okay.
And so we're both professionals, working, making a decent salary. And we didn't have any children at the time. But, they said, come back to us when you have more money. So like, okay, we were left the meeting a little bit depressed, but, there's something inside me that, never give up. Never give up. Be persistent. If you have a goal, if you have a desire, find a way to get it.
Now, I'm going to go into details. I'm
Yes.
going to go into the nitty-gritty. When they say come back until you have more money, how much are we talking about at that time?
Oh, boy. It's a huge difference back
From
then
from
to today. It's huge.
Okay.
If you went to their website at that time, McDonald's franchising said that the minimum required investment for one restaurant was about $86,000.
86,000.
Yes,
Okay.
that's then.
Mhm.
Today, I don't know, if you go into their website, it might be $1.5 million, $2 million that's needed to invest into one restaurant. But you would have to go in there and see what the today's number is. But what we did is I did talk to an owner operator that I knew. We had a conversation, gave me some hope, some motivation. Gabby and I, we decided to put a plan together. We showed McDonald's and we presented to them, hey, this is what our net worth is today. This is our assets. This is our liabilities today. When we come back to you in a couple of years, this is how it's going to look like. We're going to pay off all these debts. We're going to have this much more income, and this is what our net worth is going to be. And sure enough, in the year 2000, we called them, say, I think we're ready. And they invited us back into another meeting. And they liked what we presented to them with the accomplishment that we actually showed we were going to do from point A to point B. And we did it in a certain period of time. And they finally accepted us into the registered applicant program. Mm-hmm. So again, I think they liked my wife, Gabby, more than me, but we decided that I would be the one entering into the program, into the training, and go through the franchising. So this is 2000, in the year 2000, June, I started as a registered applicant. Basically, what that means is that they're not paying you, you're not paying them. It's just a test trial. It's a training program where you start from doing fries to taking orders, making a burger. You do all the positions in the restaurant.
Do you actually do it at a store? At one of the
Yes.
stores?
So I went after work, Monday through Thursday from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. and I worked at a restaurant like a regular employee.
Just like a part-timer without
Yeah.
getting paid. It was for the training.
Yeah. And then Saturday morning, I would go in there in the morning and work through midday.
And up until this point, you didn't have the approval. So that was kind of like
no.
a test to see.
Yes.
Okay.
But I had to go through like 1,000 hours of this or more. So, I did all the stations, I did the tests, and then I was in charge of supervising a certain area, so the kitchen, front counter, the drive-through, and then at a certain point, they wanted you to run the whole floor. So they're taking you as like every single position an employee has in the restaurant, and you have to go through it. In addition, you have to take classes in a classroom setting. So all the vacation time I had earned and saved up went to taking classes for what managers go through at McDonald's. Ultimately, going to Hamburger University. And yes, Hamburger University does exist.
It does exist.
It does exist.
It's not a myth.
No, and I have a diploma to prove it. So at that time, there was only one Hamburger University, and that was in Chicago. So it was right after 9/11. I remember that. I flew out to Chicago, did the 1 week of intense training. It's like a mini MBA in a very crunched time. And I learned a lot, met a lot of people, lifelong friends actually, and came back ready to own my own restaurant. So I told you this is going to be a long story, but at the end of the day, when we first applied, it was 1997. When we got the first offer for our first restaurant was in 2003. So I purchased my first restaurant in Acton, California on November 1st, 2003. And our goal was, in 5 years, we're going to own 2 McDonald's restaurants. But in reality, it was the opposite. In 2 years, we ended up owning 5 McDonald's restaurants. And it was a true blessing. It was a blessing that McDonald's gave us this opportunity, that they trusted us in doing what we, had learned and echándole ganas,
Yes.
giving it all you had. And, this is all you had because you invested your time, money, and this is the future that you're hoping for.
So it seems that it took you 6 years to get kind of like into the team. But
Yes.
once you were there, it seems that everything became a little bit easier to acquire more stores.
Well, the sky's the limit, the opportunity, the work and ethic that you provide, and, it's up to you, and, whatever happens, is going to happen. So fortunately for us, we were able to purchase a new restaurant in Santa Clarita. Over time, we sold the restaurants that we had acquired to move to the Central Coast where we're currently at. So we have 6 restaurants there, from Buellton, just north of Santa Barbara, all the way to Paso Robles, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could go all the way to Palo Alto, but maybe one day. But
Are those a lot more expensive to acquire?
You know
or
what?
they're harder to get?
Certain areas are harder to get, but it's just the opportunity. When the time comes, if you're ready for that opportunity, you take advantage of it and run with it. But
So now let me ask you something. Did your degree, did it help you get into the system? Was that one of the factors that maybe made a difference?
yes, I think it was maybe one of many factors that made a difference. Definitely the fact that, I studied business at USC. I had a finance degree specifically, but there's tons of factors, and every individual, I think, brings in, what their value is forward. And for me and my wife, we both had professional careers. We were minorities. We're of Mexican descent, first generation in the United States. But we worked hard for what we were doing, and we were very involved in the community. And McDonald's liked that because they have, their system is built on giving back to the community. There's Ronald McDonald House charities. There's all kinds of stuff that they do for the public and the common good. So that philosophy is instilled there, and I think it was a perfect match for us. And then, today, other people have the opportunity to find what's best for them. And McDonald's, there's a program right now where minorities can go in and apply. And for the first time ever, McDonald's is providing a financial backing or support for those that qualify and are approved into the system.
So we were actually talking about that when we were driving all the way here to Palmdale. And one of the things that you were telling me is that, because I asked you how easy or how difficult is right now to be able to acquire a McDonald's store.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you were telling me is about this program. Can you give us a little bit more details of how
Yeah.
it's working?
So yeah, before I go into that, let me backstep for 1 second. When my wife and I entered the McDonald's system, it turned out that we were, of all the applications that came into McDonald's at the time, we're probably 0.2 of 1% of all the applicants that came in. And let me break that down. Of all the applications that came in, thousands or hundreds of thousands or applications that come in, there was a breakdown of the 1% that were actually accepted for an interview. And in that breakdown, let's say 20% were the wives or children of existing owner-operators. Then another 20% were maybe employees from the corporation that were being awarded restaurants for their future there. And then finally, like you broke it down to like maybe 20% of people that just applied off the street to get in to become McDonald's owner operators. And that's where we came in. We were, again, 0.2 of 1% of all the applications that came in to become a registered applicant. So it was very difficult to get in back then. Today, I imagine it's somewhere around the same
greater
percentage.
difficulty.
Yeah. However, because McDonald's is seeing in the community that it is a little bit more difficult for certain communities to come in, even if they're qualified to be able to afford a franchise with these higher prices, they're opening up a program where they funded for something like 5 years or so. Again, somebody that's qualified, a minority that's qualified to come in, and they'll be able to provide financial support so they could get into the system for the first time, which is unheard of and unprecedented.
That's a huge opportunity for minorities communities.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming that not because you're a minority, you're going to skip all the other processes. So if you were to think, like, what is it that someone needs right now to get into the system, you're gonna have to have a business plan, correct? You're gonna have to pretty much have your act together in regards to business plan, maybe some type of education, maybe some type of funding, and then the opportunity is going to be a lot easier than before, but still you have to go through the process, correct?
That's correct. And your background, really, it could be anybody coming in to become a McDonald's owner operator. Like they say, it's not rocket science. So I've seen professors, I've seen police officers, lawyers, accountants, all different backgrounds coming in to become successful McDonald's owner operators. And I would say, just bring in your resume, bring everything that you've done. For me, things that helped me out were my professional career working for AT&T, Mobil Oil, the background there, the different positions, those helped out your community service, and just your work ethic. So come in with a plan on how you're going to build this business, how you're going to make this better after you take over. And yeah, business plan is definitely an essential tool because it projects to yourself and to the corporation as how are you going to make this plan and how are you going to make this business better for tomorrow.
Would some type of degree, maybe in business administration, marketing, do you think that'll help?
Well, I think it gives an individual an advantage.
Okay.
But again, it's not essential.
Okay.
So, what I was taught when I first started business school is that, a professor wrote out a circle, a pie, and he cut it up in different lines. He said, if you have a marketing degree, they will open up, this much opportunities in the business world. If you have a finance or accounting, you almost all these doors are open for you. If you have IT, management, all this opens up for you. And I think it's a great background, whether you major in business or even have a minor in business, whatever your degree is. But whether you learn it ahead of time or you have to learn it afterwards, you're going to have to know it one way or another.
Okay.
You need to understand and read financial statements. You have to deal with an accountant. You have to put a business plan together. Just dealing with the day-to-day operations, trying to figure out what is going on, how can I make this better, faster, more efficient, better for the customer. So yes, a business degree is helpful, but it's not essential for you to operate as an owner-operator.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but someone that didn't go to school, for example, and doesn't have that business degree, or is not thinking of getting a business degree, I'm assuming that it would help, for example, if he starts at the lowest level, maybe at a McDonald's store, right? And then he does the experience, he goes to the manager position, the regional manager. So that way, kind of like the schooling could be kind of like sort of being replaced by the experience of running a store. I mean, would that be something that could help someone get a franchise?
Yeah, I think that would apply to almost anything. Some other businesses have that same model where, yeah, they have you start at the beginning and go step by step to different levels to learn the business 100%. Every position from cleaning the bathrooms, cleaning the lobby, to making hamburgers, to running the show and managing the whole operation. And, that I think is a natural way of learning, in the business world.
Now, I noticed that you said that when you were thinking of, opening your business, you went with McDonald's with the franchise model. Did you think about doing your own thing, like making your own brand, making your own place versus going into the franchising world?
Well, when my wife and I first started planning our future, we looked at all possibilities, from going into real estate solely, opening our own restaurant, to looking at franchise. And we thought that, especially with McDonald's at the time, that it was the best option for us because they provided all the support. They provided support in real estate, in marketing, operations, the whole spectrum. And I thought that's probably the best thing for us. And if you look at the numbers historically, if somebody opens their own business, many times within 5 years, they're going to go bankrupt or close their business. Those that make it past the 5-year line tend to be successful or know how to continue the business. However, in the franchising model, the percentage of people that actually succeed is very high because the system has already been created for you. All you have to do is read the operations book, follow it,
and
system. Most likely you're going to succeed. So someone already did the hard work for you.
Okay. For someone that is thinking of, where should I go? Do I open my own thing or do I do a franchising? You think that the franchise model brings some type of advantages versus the other model. And I'm pretty sure that you have to balance it out and see both sides. But, that's one of the things that the franchise model brings. The systems are there. The concept is there. You don't even have to worry about anything other than just follow the system and operate at the highest level.
Yeah, I think there's lots of advantages for the franchise system. Again, that doesn't mean somebody cannot be successful outside of it. They could be very successful, but for somebody who has a desire and wants to succeed right away, a franchise model is probably where you want to go to. It's something, again, where the system is already set up for you. A lot of the hard work is already done, and if done correctly, you will have success.
Victor, so you own 6 McDonald's, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, good. So question, are you thinking of acquiring more? Like, what is it that you do with your money? Like, where do you invest it? Do you go all into just the McDonald's model? Do you plan to buy more, or do you do other type of investing?
Okay, well, that triggers a little memory when we first started with McDonald's. When we bought our first McDonald's, we sold our house and used the profit from it to buy our first McDonald's. We told them that was our intent. We went and rented an apartment. We actually did not buy furniture for our household for about 10 years.
Now, I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to interrupt you because you bring a great point, which I always say. People think that the best investment is real estate. And I could be biased because I'm in the real estate industry. But to me, the best investment, it would be your business first, right? Because if you make your business work, you're going to get all the money to do the investing in real estate afterwards. So now that you touched that subject, so you sold your property to buy the business.
Correct.
Okay. And you went, rented out, and you had your first store, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how did it progress from that?
Yeah, so our family decided that we're putting everything in the bucket on this first business. So yeah, we started off in an apartment building. We had our first baby, and the business kept growing. Fortunately, like I said, we had the opportunity to grow in 2 years from 1 to 5 restaurants. So for the first 10 years as owner-operators, we just reinvested in the business. After the 10 years, we finally had the opportunity where we purchased a house that we're still living in. And it was the first time as a married couple that we fully furnish our home, where we don't have patio furniture in the living room or anything like that. We actually had a furnished home.
Yeah, but I'm gonna assume that it wasn't an 800 square feet home.
No,
you were able to buy a very decent property, right?
It's a house that we're happy to have grown. Our family, we have 5 children total for the house. So one's already in college, another one's going to college next year. So we've been very fortunate and blessed to have been able to grow our family in this house. But again, yes, we didn't buy that luxury car, that Rolex, or stuff that might be important for some people. We decided to reinvest in the business, make sure everything was going correctly before we were allowed ourselves to make other purchases.
And you kept investing in real estate?
So actually, real estate came at a later point in our timeline. So first, we were able to grow our business. We moved from the LA County to the Central Coast, and then we finally had the opportunity to invest in real estate. And the funny thing is, that was my major. It was business administration, finance, but specifically real estate finance.
Real estate finance.
So I'm like, oh, great. After almost 25 years, I get to use my degree.
My knowledge.
So, thanks to you and your brother, you showed me what was available in the market, what opportunities were there, and really guide me into the right model to invest money in. So yes, we for the last 3 years we've been investing in real estate and really diversifying our income stream to what it is now. And I think once you have that opportunity, it's a good thing to have various income streams coming into your household if it's possible.
Yeah, great. Now, what about your kids? Are your kids going to follow the business that you have, whether they're doing their own thing? Like, what is the direction that they're going?
Well, you know what? Early on, I thought one of them might be a doctor, the other one might be a veterinarian.
What happened with the veterinarian? Because I know if she going to pursue that or
no. So the kids grew up and they got to see what was going on with our business, and they got exposure to other stuff. And so far, the first 2, 3 kids had decided to study business administration as well.
Cool.
So I thought that was great because I always preach again,
Mm-hmm.
either study business or have a business minor no matter what you study. You need that personal finance knowledge no matter what you do.
Yeah, I agree.
So right now my daughter's a junior at Santa Clara University. She's studying business administration and finance.
Mm-hmm.
I have another daughter that's graduating from high school and will be studying business as well.
Nice.
So I hope they decide that they want to pursue the same business, and it would be a great thing to enhance the family business there. But I just want them to be successful in whatever makes them happy.
Awesome, awesome. Now, Victor, another question that I have for you. Other than running the McDonald's restaurants, what is it that you get involved into? Because I know that you do a lot of different stuff, interesting stuff for the communities. Like, what is it that you get involved with?
Well, so McDonald's Corporation's philosophy has always been from its founder to be involved with your community, to give back to those that help you. So as an owner-operator from the beginning, I've been involved with the Ronald McDonald House Charities. I help lead to raise funds for scholarships for Hispanic high school seniors that are pursuing their education at the collegiate level. I've also volunteered as a board of director for Camp Ronald for Good Times, which is another Ronald McDonald House charity program. And that camp is in Idlewild, where you have children who have cancer and spend like a whole week in the summer camp, and it makes them feel good, feel normal, and you have facilities there with doctors and nurses, people to help care for them during that time. And that's just a little bit of the community work that we've done.
You know what? I'm going to interrupt you there because I don't know if you know that I have a daughter that when she was 3-4 years old, she was diagnosed with an astrocytoma, which is some type of cancer tumor.
Oh, okay.
And we actually went to one of those camps.
Really?
Yeah, the Ronald McDonald camp. It was pretty cool.
Okay.
It was a long time ago. She's now a cancer survivor.
Excellent.
She's like 25 years old, but back when she was like 9-10 years old, we got to go to one of those camps, and it was awesome. It was awesome. Yes.
That's great.
So thank you for that. Thank you for that, because at the end of the day, you're actually part of that.
Yes.
With the things that you guys do.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Yeah, that's a very important program, and I'm just happy to have been, participated in that. But, again, Ronald McDonald House Charities does scholarships, helps in those camps. They have houses at children's hospitals. They do a lot of grants as well. But, besides that community work, with McDonald's, I've been fortunate enough to have been involved on a national and local level in their marketing. So the local co-op has elected me on various occasions to represent the owner-operators and serve on the national level in Chicago to make marketing decisions, for the whole country, which has been a great experience, a lot of great learning. And it's just an experience I guess never imagined to have had the opportunity to have before becoming an owner-operator.
Awesome. Well, great job, Victor. And guys, there you have it. Victor, thank you very, very much for being here with
Jorge.
you. Thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
spending some time with us. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If someone's interested in getting into the franchise system of McDonald's, I'm assuming that the website will be kind of like the best way to start.
Yeah, you go to www.mcdonalds.com. There should be a link there for franchising. They could find out more information. And I encourage anybody that's interested, to échale ganas and go in there and apply and start today.
There we go. Well, thank you guys, and thank you, Victor.
Thank you.